Ladies and gentlemen, good morning. Welcome to the 2005 AANS. On behalf of Electa, it's my pleasure to welcome Mr. Scott Hamilton. As many of you know, Scott is a world champion figure skater and an Olympic gold medalist. He's also a dedicated father and husband and a successful businessman. What many of you may not know is that he's also a cancer survivor. He's been a very active spokesman in the cancer community, promoting awareness, treatment, and survival. A year ago, he was diagnosed with a benign pituitary brain tumor. He was treated by Dr. Gene Barnett, a neurosurgeon at the Lexell Gamma Knife Center of Cleveland Clinic. He's here today to discuss how Gamma Knife surgery helped him triumph over his brain tumor. It is my privilege to introduce Mr. Scott Hamilton.
Thank you. Wow. It's always that first thing of bringing the microphone down. It's always kind of embarrassing. It's so wild to see it from this angle. Wow. Hi. It's kind of a unique experience to be here and to see all of you who are listening so politely to me, and you're a lot smarter than I am, so that's a great compliment. I appreciate it very much. As you heard, I'm a cancer survivor, and this is kind of my second time around with dealing with serious health issues. So my first time around was testicular cancer, and I know that the brain has been involved in that many times, where like Lance Armstrong had 3 brain tumors that he had to have treated. And for me, chemotherapy was very difficult, and it is what it is, and you deal with it. I lost my mother to cancer, so I knew that the issues were serious, and I treated them as such, in a way of being focused, getting through the chemotherapy, but at the same time knowing that every day is what you make it, and trying to fill it with humor and a great deal of positive attitude. So when this episode happened, I kind of had firsthand experience with dealing with the health issue, but this one was a little different. This was brain, and this one was a little scarier, especially since I was just married and had a young son. The stakes were a lot different. But when I tell you that this experience was probably one of the most positive experiences I've ever had, it's absolutely sincere when I tell you that the adventure of being diagnosed with this brain tumor and what transpired the next 6 or 7 days was one of the greatest experiences of my life. As you heard, Dr. Barnett was my neurosurgeon, and throughout he was very informative and phenomenal in just keeping it, allowing me to be as silly and as stupid as I can be, trying to make him laugh. He's a very serious man, and trying to treat this as I did my first experience of being positive and of making every day something extraordinary. So what made it so great was, again, the first 6 days were frightening because we did not know what this was. We did not know what type of tumor this was, how to treat it. And so test after test after test, and finally having a biopsy, which was scary because it was a very difficult procedure. And Dr. Barnett, in his skill, was able to get in there, find out what it was, and immediately be able to tell me it was a craniopharyngioma, and that there were treatment options, and we needed to discuss exactly what those were. And as we got through finding out what this tumor was, how it was presenting itself, and what it was attached to, and what the risks were, he, without ego, went around the United States and discussed this with other neurosurgeons. And I had a nice long talk with Dr. Ed Laws in the University of Virginia, who I guess is one of the leading experts in this type of tumor. And what he said to me was, if you were my brother or my son, your best option is Gamma Knife. And it just seemed kind of,